Shake it vigorously. And there it comes. Hi, and welcome to Tony's Cool Tools. If it's your first time, thanks for stopping. In today's video, just like the title says, we're going to be talking about a product that really sucks. However, it's extremely important for your maintenance around the house, farm, or property. And not only outside, but inside as well, and we'll show you why. And if you watch to the end, you'll have a little surprise. So the question that I have for you is, what do you get when you take a marble, a spring, and a piece of copper? You give up? You get a super invention like this. It's actually a one-way check valve. Some people call it a pump. And we'll be talking about and showing this awesome invention. So by taking this one-way check valve and putting it on a piece of hose, you can now transfer liquids far distances with no batteries or electricity. So let me give you a little backstory on this siphon hose. Back in the 70s, an Australian gentleman designed and built this check valve. And he sold it in Australia through the 70s and appropriately named it was Siphon Mate. So then in the 80s, he took his product and moved to the US and started selling it there. And after several years, he sold the company. So the current owner, Mike Ryan, operated and ran the company for a few years and was so impressed with the company that he went ahead and bought it in 2015. And he is still the owner. And Mike's goal after buying the company was to make sure that he manufactured everything in the United States. And he's doing that right now in his home state of Pennsylvania. He also changed the name from Siphon Mate to Safety Siphon, or the original Safety Siphon. And I know many of you baby boomers who are watching know the only thing that we had when we were growing up was a piece of garden hose. We put it in the gas tank, sucked on it until something came out, and normally we got some of it in our mouth, which wasn't very tasty. So you can only imagine how successful this product was. Since the 70s, they've sold millions of these safety siphons. And as you can imagine, there's plenty of imitators and knockoff because of the success of this tool. So you're probably asking, what makes this siphon so different than any of the others? Let me explain. The first thing is, it's made in the USA. And here are some other points that make it different and better. This is 100% lead-free copper, not copper plated like most of the other manufacturers out there. And if you're not sure, just take a look at the stamp right over here. It says, Safety Siphon, made in the USA. That's your telltale sign that you're getting the correct product. And as I mentioned, there is a spring on the inside. It is made of 100% stainless steel, not stainless steel coated like most of the other manufacturers are putting on there. And the marble that I talked about inside here, it's an industrial grade, not the kind that we played with when we were kids. And as far as the hose that Mike uses, it's 100% virgin resin, not recycled material. And similar to the check valve, it has made in the USA with Safety Siphon written right on it. So you know you're getting the right product. And one of the best parts, if you're going to use this inside the house, it is FDA food grade safe. And for all those reasons, that's why Mike offers a lifetime guarantee on the Safety Siphon. So the original Safety Mate only came in 1/2 inch. That was the only size available. So one of the things that Mike did when he purchased the company is he expanded his offerings. He now offers 3/8, naturally the 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch. And you have many options when ordering the Safety Siphon from Mike. You can just get the one-way check valve. You can get it in 6-foot length hoses or 10-foot length hoses in all the sizes that I mentioned. Let me mention the volumes that these things put out. The 3/8 puts out 1.5 gallons per minute. The 1/2 inch does 3.5 gallons per minute. The 3/4 inch does 6 gallons per minute, and the 1 inch does 10.5. Can you imagine that? 10.5 gallons per minute with no batteries or electricity. And the other thing that Mike offers are shutoff valves. And you're probably wondering, what's so big about that? It took him a long time to find a manufacturer that had the right shutoff valve. And the reason is, most manufacturers use O-rings. And with petroleum products, O-rings deteriorate and they go bad. This has no O-rings in it. So they're available in all three sizes, 3/8, half, 3/4, and 1 inch. And I'll show you why they're so important when we start demonstrating the product here momentarily. Oh, and I forgot to mention one other thing about the shutoff valves. And that is, if you use it inside the house for items like water, or better yet, if you're making the elixirs of the gods, better known as beer, wine, or hard apple cider, you can't use any rubber products because of bacteria and contamination. So this doesn't have any. So if you're wondering what type of fluids go through the safety siphon, water, kerosene, gasoline, diesel, hydraulic oil, liquid fertilizer, chemicals. You can even put oil through this as long as it's 20 weight or under. Or warm up the oil and then it should go through if it's a little thicker. And if you're wondering about the finger puppet, it's an accessory that goes on the one-way check valve. And the purpose for it is if you should be draining your pool or your hot tub and it has leaves or pine needles in it, all you do is you take the netting, put it right over the top of it, take the zip tie, put it around here. Now you have it so that it filters all that debris out. Mike's thought of everything. And now that we've shown you the product, let's give you a demonstration, a real-world demonstration of how this product works and why it's so great. All right, let me show you how easily the safety siphon works. All I have to do is put the one-way check valve inside the container here, shake it vigorously, and there it comes. And as long as as you notice, as I bring it up, it slows down. But if I keep it down, it will give me 3.5 gallons per hour. This is the half-inch hose. I had mentioned how important this shutoff valve is. Now let me show you. I'm going to go ahead and prime the hose first. Just put it inside. Now, as you can see, it's flowing. I can shut it off. I can remove this. And I have it primed right now. I can go to another vehicle that has the same fluid if I wanted to, put it inside. And it'll flow. It doesn't lose its prime. That's why it's so important to have this one-way check valve. So if you thought that the safety siphon was only used for petroleum products, you're wrong. As far as inside the house, if you have a clogged drain or the bathtub is full, you can remove the water easily with this. But it's also a vacuum cleaner. Let me show you why. If you have a jacuzzi or a hot tub and you know there's sand at the bottom sometimes you bring in with your feet, you can remove it because this suctions it up. Let me kind of show you the theory behind it. I've put a little stick on here to give me some room inside. You can use your pool skimmer or whatever to do the same thing. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to prime it first and then show you. Now, all I'm going to do is get to the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just going along the bottom and trying to, I lost vacuum there for a second, but I'm going around the corners here and just siphoning up everything. And if there was any sand, it'd suck it right up as well. So if you're doing home brewing, whether it's beer, ale, mead, or hard cider, the carboys, you can fit the half-inch hose with no problem inside here to go inside. And on the new plastic ones, they're large enough to even go with the 1 inch. The nice thing about this is you can go all the way down to where almost the sediment is without stirring it up. And it'll suck the product out, and you can bottle it in whatever you're doing, in containers or glass jars or the 12-ounce bottles, especially if you're using the shutoff valve. So if you're a prepper and you store your water inside your basement, you probably have a pump similar to this that goes on the bung that you pump the water up. This is okay, but I don't like it. It doesn't work as good as the Safety Siphon that I had previously. And all you do, and one other tip for you, you want to make sure that you get at least the 10-foot hose instead of the 6-foot hose, because this is going to have to go all the way down, and then you'll be able to pour it into some kind of a receptacle or into 5-gallon buckets or whatever you're going to do. And the same thing holds true if you're draining your hot tub or jacuzzi. Make sure you have the longer hose, because you have to have at least 4 feet that's going to go down into that or your in-ground pool. So with this, I would just put it inside here, make sure I start it up, and then I can pour it all off. You can put 2 55-gallon barrels in your UTV or an IBC tote in here half full of water. And if you have any trees or gardens that are in a remote location that does not have water, all you have to do, put this inside, get it running, and then this will start flowing. And if you're using the 1-inch, you're getting over 5.5 gallons per minute. So you should be able to water your garden easily with one of these safety siphons. So for marine applications, if you have your boat docked and you want to fuel it, it's so easy to be able to fuel it from the dock to your gas tank here. But at the end of the season, if you want to remove the fuel from this gas tank, the hardest part is getting the part in the corner. You can try to dump this out by hand. It's extremely difficult. But with the 3/8 safety siphon, all I do is prop this up like this, get this into the corner, and I'll be able to suck up 98% of the liquids that are inside here. And the safety siphon is indispensable for winter maintenance as far as removing the fuel out of your gas tank here, especially with the 3/8 one-way check valve. I can just put this inside here, remove all the fuel from it, start it up again, and let it run dry. Same thing holds true on some of my small equipment. I can just take this in, put it in, and as I showed you, I could get almost 98% of the fuel out of there by just manipulating it and moving it back and forth. Now here's one thing Safety Siphon does not want you to do. On the newer vehicles with this trap door over here, even though this thing can push through, they do not recommend trying to siphon fuel out of your gas tank, even if you have the 3/8, because if it gets lodged inside, you've got an expense there to take the gas tank down and get that piece out of there. So if you've watched this far, I told you I'd have a surprise for you, and that is I'm doing a giveaway on the 1/2-inch safety siphon. All you have to do is write in the comments somewhere, Safety Siphon. That's it, those 2 words, Safety Siphon. I'm going to announce the winner on Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon. Hopefully you found my video on the safety siphons, the different types, informative and interesting. And if so, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, pass it forward. Make the world a better place. And don't be a tool. Watch Tony's Cool Tools. Until I see you next time, thanks for watching.